do this, Cody Olson and Jason
Happy
Turner.
damn meeting, sir.
I haven't changed most of my clocks today. That screwed me up like 3 different times.
Okay. I got 5 o'clock, so we'll bring our work session for March 9th to order, and we will move right along. We have 3 topics here. Number 1, discussion of 2026 work session schedule. Chelsea's going to lead that discussion.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to spend a few minutes talking about a schedule that I've put together for the council's upcoming work sessions. We've done this previously. I've had quite a few requests from individual council members for work session topics. So we're kind of just trying to hold a working calendar. Nothing is set in stone. This is tentative. But I do think that I have put everything in the calendar that the council has asked for, with the exception of the change to the rezoning that was brought up at the last council meeting. I would like to start that discussion at planning and zoning and then bring it to the city council. So that might require planning and zoning to discuss first, and then it would come to the city council in the future. There are 2 topics that I have not plugged into the schedule that we will probably need to discuss within the next few months, but I don't have a good timeline for them. The first thing is the sidewalk repair program update and discussion. I'm waiting to see if the state of Iowa legislature passes something that makes changes to sidewalk liability in the state. And then we will probably need to be talking about an updated CIWW water storage plan. They are going to be changing that plan, and I think they may be looking for some feedback from the community, so I may have that on an upcoming work session agenda as well. Any questions?
No.
So I do have one change. I see that you have, I now see after you pointed it out, because I did miss it earlier, on the 27th, the police station and library schematic update. I would like to talk about that land sooner. I know we talked about that. And I don't want to get too far ahead and occupy too much time, but I'm good with leaving this on there. I do think we should talk about the property and potentially, due to the fact that the old church / old funeral home is on the market now, and we're getting into spring, it may make sense to kick the tires on how commercially viable that property is, which again is not jumping ahead or off the plan to change anything necessarily, but just to see what options are out there, and we can maybe get into that further as time allows here at the next meeting. But just moving that up a little bit sooner, I think is not a bad idea.
Maybe I'm confused, but hasn't that church been on the market for a year?
I think it was on the market a few years ago, and then it was put on the market again here a month or so ago.
It just
I think.
No, it did.
Okay.
Like about a month ago, officially came back on the market.
Oh, they took it off the market.
Yep.
I guess I didn't know that.
And I don't know, quite honestly, I don't know that changes anything. I think, I don't know that has a connection. I think, it's spring, it may just be time to do that anyway. I don't know what impact there is with that property being available too, again, or to even for sure, do we want to go away from the current sketch of a plan, which is the police station. I'm not saying I'm there yet either, but I would like to know what commercial interests are available or are interested there, and what dollar amount that means, and a few different things. So if we can talk about that now, I'm happy to talk about it now, but I don't want to take away time from what we have scheduled.
So I would be in favor of talking about that property. And because I would like to talk about another property at the same time during that conversation. So I'd be in favor of doing that, whether it needs to be moved up or not. My the one that I would like to talk about is not necessarily something that's going to be sold or on sale right now, but I think it'd be worth talking about it.
Okay.
And we have some council members who weren't around, who weren't on when we talked about it another time. So, yeah, let's do that.
I mean, I don't know that it's a lengthy discussion now. Do we have maybe 5 or 10 minutes or no?
Well, do we have the details to have a conversation about that right now? Or should we have it be dedicated? I like the idea of dedicating a
Okay.
work session to it rather than just trying to touch on it now.
Would you propose it be like on April 13th and we have a longer work session? Like start at 4:30 or 4?
I was gonna suggest tonight that we put it as a discussion topic for the March, whatever the
23rd?
next March council meeting is.
Okay.
What do we have on in for the March
We don't have
work
a,
session?
we don't have a work session.
We have the levy.
Budget public
Yeah.
hearing. Yeah, the levy hearing. What do you need from staff to prepare that topic for discussion?
I don't think anything. I think it's more of a consensus of council. Are we interested in making it known that that could be available for sale and commercial development? Because again, if we get a great offer, that's the perfect project, maybe it jumps ahead. But just having some feedback from some developers to say, you know, it's really gonna be tough to develop here because of X, Y, Z. We've not done the due diligence on, is that something, like, I think I've probably got a pipe dream in my head that it could be a rooftop bar and grill overlooking the square at some point. No clue if that could be something.
Dream
but-
big, right?
Right, and why not?
No, it's fair.
Maybe it could be, and then, as I said to Chief, you know, we stick to, there's no compromising here on the police station development. That, you know, we haven't really talked about a timeline, but I just want to be clear that looking at other options on this site doesn't change anything with what the city or what the police station might look like from my perspective, just changes the location. So that is what it is, because if I'm learning that there are going to be crunches with Third Street on the amount of commercial development that we can have, and we've got a prime spot that we've done most of the foundational work on, we've cleared the houses, it's a block off the square, you know, where are we gonna find a better place to put something that is customer facing, so to speak, in my opinion?
And we won't know unless we visit it.
Right.
We won't know unless nothing ventured, nothing gained, if you will.
So you want a discussion of the potential sale of property, and I can put the address on the agenda.
Sure.
And you don't need the staff to prepare anything ahead of time, you just want it to be a discussion item.
No, I mean,
Okay, so what we're really trying to do is determine when to have
Sure.
this discussion.
And then you want to talk about purchasing property, which can be done in closed session. And you want me to put closed session on the agenda.
Would we do that at the same time? Couldn't do that in a work session.
I think if you're talking about buying property, you want to have that discussion in closed session.
Okay,
So I would put a closed session on a future agenda.
okay.
And I just want to be prepared. So if you want us to put something on the agenda, just give me some direction. I think discussion of sale of property located at the address would probably be fine.
well, is anybody opposed to that? Just like the.
So I'm not opposed to it. The thing is, Rob, it's like a domino, right? I have a lot of other questions related
Okay.
around that. So I would like to have the opportunity to prepare and formulate my thoughts, because if not there, where, and then what impact does, we're doing this corridor study, does that change? I just have a lot of questions, but I'm all for entertaining the discussion.
Is there a need to move it up more or can?
Springtime seems to be more active and, again,
Do we
making an
have
assumption that, people
stuff
are
back?
looking at that old church building, and they drive across the sign across the street. I don't know. It just takes one, so, Plus, I'm impatient. You guys know that. Oh.
News flash, breaking news, everybody.
So just, James asked a question. He asked when we will have the schematic information back. I'd like to get proposals for that too, but I think if you all want to have discussion on changing what those schematics look like, probably should have this conversation and discussion first. I do think you're gonna have some information from Snyder on the corridor study that the council authorized, which is why I put those two topics together. So I will move things around, how you all tell me. I do have the Greater Des Moines Partnership coming, and I think they're going to be giving an excellent presentation at the April 13th work session. I think Mayor and I are very excited about it. I do have them solidified for the April 13th date. But if you want me to put a discussion item on the March 27th agenda, I will do that. Just tell me what you want me to prepare ahead of time.
Is it too much to ask to have 3 topics and maybe have a longer work session on the 27th? Since they all kind of correlate to each other?
We could, but we have the property tax hearing set for 5:30 PM. And it can be it has to be the only topic on the
I said
agenda.
the 27th.
One of you's talking about March, one's talking.
Yeah, I said the 27th, sorry, of April.
Oh, April.
Oh, sure. I already have that.
Is April too long? Sorry.
Yes?
Yeah, I think it goes back to striking while the iron's hot. So, I mean,
But it's a cycle, right? The iron might be hot next year too. I mean,
yeah, we don't know.
Well, the schematic is scheduled for the summer, and I'm a no pending, resounding, this isn't, not resounding, but I'm not gonna wanna spend money on a schematic design for a property that we haven't vetted other options for at this point, I'll say it that way.
What do you want to do? Leave it on the same date that it is on, or do you want to try and move it up? Council, what's everybody, what's Nick
So we should
say?
probably have, what's Nick say?
How long do we think the Greater Des Moines Partnership, their presentation is going to take? If we can shoehorn in a half hour of discussion, I'm for having a little bit longer work session on the 13th.
Okay, and it'll take an hour.
Well,
So I can put that on before the Greater Des Moines Partnership.
but back to my original plan, why can't we just add a discussion topic to the council meeting on the March, whatever it is, 23rd meeting?
Is that what you all want me to do?
I don't think
Oh,
that's
We
a
can add it as a
Not a
discussion.
work session. This
Just,
is council.
It's a discussion item, so we've had discussion items before, we're not approving anything necessarily, but.
But we do that officially.
You can put a discussion item on the agenda.
Yeah, we just ask for it.
And that's what I said. We can do discussion of sale of property located at the address. I just need some consensus from the body here, what you want me to do.
I'm fine with that.
I don't have a problem having it on the 23rd as long as that's enough time for staff to get the information that you're wanting.
Do you know specifically what you want? Maybe that will help.
I need a reaction from council to be able to do that. I don't need anything else from staff for that discussion.
But I mean.
Jeff has some questions, so I'm not trying to,
Yep.
So
I'm happy to put it on the agenda. I just we won't have anything prepared.
Yeah, I
So
think it's
it'll
just
just
an
be a
open
discussion
dialogue.
item. And,
Here's what everybody's thinking, here's the questions, and then we go from there like, okay, here's next steps.
okay,
That way we don't have to shoehorn anything in and.
okay. And then I will also add the closed session matter.
yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Anything else on number one? If not.
Oh, one more thing.
Yep.
So are we going to post Four Seasons have a kind of post-mortem kind of discussion?
Yes, and I will put that in for July 13th.
Okay.
Does that sound?
Yep.
Does that work?
Yep.
I did tell you all we would do that, so we will take that slot with that discussion item.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep.
That was it.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 2, which is a presentation on building code updates, and Cody's going to lead that.
You guys want me to actually put it on the screens or no? Give you the highlights. How many of you enjoyed reading through all those?
You're the expert. I trust that you're doing the right thing.
So this is the overall goal here. We're currently on the 2018 I-Code series. The state has already amended or updated to the 24. Most metro communities have updated to the 24. We're just kind of getting in line, getting updated. The state updated from the 2015 to the 24, so we're a little bit behind. But really, there's no major reinventing the wheel. We're applying what we currently have in the 18 just to the newer 24 versions. Some of the design criteria have changed just from updated tables from the ICC, changing some information, which most people are aware of and already adapting to. There's nothing that really amounts to any significant financial changes in cost to building a home. It's just getting up to date in the most current code cycle. If you have any specific questions, I'm happy to answer. Some of the major ones that we're dealing with, part of it are the sprinkler requirements, which we're keeping the same for commercial or single family residential in townhomes. Nothing massively different there. I think the proposed change for our plumbing, we currently adopt the 2018 International Plumbing Code. I'm looking to undo that and just point directly to the state code, which is the Uniform Plumbing Code. What's that? It's a lot of the same information, just a different code cycle or code provider. And a lot of that's just to avoid the confusion of plumbers working elsewhere or used to the Uniform Plumbing Code. There's no need for us to have a separate one that they have to look at. So same thing with the electrical code, points to the state. We've had that in place. There's nothing changing there. They've already updated to the 23 code cycle. If there's anything specific at all.
Is it fair to say, Cody, that most contractors are already using that?
I've been
Units.
prefacing this, that it's coming. They've seen it in other
Yeah, I
municipalities
was gonna
already
say,
adopted.
Can't
A
be
lot of them, and I would plan on doing a 6-month grace period, just kind of a learning cycle, getting all on the same page.
Yeah, where's the other metro communities at in terms of adoption? Like, are we?
A lot of them have already completed the 24 adoptions. Most of them are up to date when they happen. And we can look at doing this every 3 years from now on. I know it was probably more difficult with a third party before having it in-house, just keeping that all aligned, so that's the goal. Like I say, the state made a huge jump from going from the 2015 to the 24. And there's not been a lot of negative feedback there. A lot of these guys already designed to the current updates, even if they're not adopted, so people are already there. It's just a matter of making it solidified on our end. Like I said, happy to answer any, if you guys have any other questions that come up. I've condensed about 7,000 pages of code book to 18 pages of adoption here, so I did my best.
No questions.
Council?
Thank you.
No questions?
Nope.
All right, thank you, Cody.
Thanks, Cody.
Item number 3, discussion of regional park naming rights and sponsorship opportunities. Jason's going to lead that.
Dang, Cody was supposed to take more time. I wasn't ready back there. No, but in front of you guys tonight is the finalized sports, the structure for sponsorships and donations at the regional park. These numbers and this structure was recommended for approval at the 2-2 Parks Commission, and then this body approved it on February 9th. So I just kind of wanted to go through this with you guys and then kind of open it up to questions that you guys may have. So again, we're really looking at two opportunities here to bring in monies. One is like naming rights. The other is a typical donation. So we have it split up into really sections of the park. I guess we do have the overarching umbrella of naming rights of the entire facility, and that appears at the top. Then we have it broken into essentially a soccer complex, a baseball complex, softball complex, and then additional amenities, more of your passive recreation, splash pad, pickleball, inclusive playground, things of that nature. On each component, so whether it's soccer, whether it's baseball, we have naming rights that exist. Some are fields and some are complex. So, the finished master plan shows 3 baseball fields. So we would have the naming rights to the 3 baseball complex, the restrooms, everything. It could be the Dvorak family baseball complex. Underneath that, you've got fields. So then we could have the Sarchet field. So just not saying anything definitive, guys, just throwing it out there. But no, so seeing what other municipalities have done for similar sized projects, that's kind of the structure they did. Again, kind of having the whole enchilada and then breaking out the pieces where it's appropriate. I will highlight in the soccer piece here, we don't have field naming rights. Essentially, our soccer fields are going to kind of be anamorphous. One year it's going to look different than the year before. If we can properly switch how fields are oriented, we're not going to be beating them down like our existing. So one year we may have 8 fields. The next year, if we split them all, we'd have 16 fields. It just kind of gets a little difficult to, earmark. One year it could be a 19U field, the next year it's an 8U. So just some consistency. Robbie, I got a question.
Yeah, that leads me to where I was gonna go is, I foresee, like, if I'm a rich guy like Dave or a company or whatever, and I want the prime field that's not yet built, I'm gonna wait for that. So to your point about the soccer fields, can we give if they wanna sponsor a soccer field that's a 18U field now, and then give them that amount of money and credit towards a better field down the road, I think that would encourage them to get the first dollars we can get in, the sooner the better, right? So everything subsequently gets easier when that happens. If we can offer that as a, hey, we've got a couple practice fields now, and if you sponsor them now, that money will get you recognition now, and then transfers to, whatever else down there. Is that making sense? Like, I don't want to, forestall any smaller stuff that's available now by a more prominent field down the road. Have you guys talked about that?
I think I understand what you're saying. So what's proposed on here is the soccer complex as a whole has an opportunity for a naming right, not specific fields. Does that make sense? Where it's essentially going to be the Sarchet soccer complex, and then within there it would be fields. Yeah. And every year that would change. Fields 1 through 12, 1 through 16.
I shouldn't have used fields as an example. All I'm saying is whatever is available now can be transferred to something else down the road if they so choose. That's like.
Well, and I think too, the conversation point of, okay, if we're successful with naming rights and donations right now, just having a consistent message, where's that money going? And my recommendation would be that in one form or another, it just continues the momentum of the regional park project. Whether it's, having to use less of the borrowed monies on soccer, then that frees it up to move it to a potential phase 2, or if we get money for phase 2 baseball, phase 3 softball, we would have a dedicated account within, the capital improvements, and it's there.
Yeah, I'd agree.
James, because you just went through this not that long ago.
Yeah, it would definitely help to have people guaranteed where this money is absolutely going. And so when they lend their support, they know for a fact that it is going to the regional park and advancing the next few steps as well.
Yeah, and again, doing some comparisons, you know, just with how siloed youth sports can be, you know, very much, it's the expectation now that if you're giving money towards soccer, you'd like to see your name by the soccer fields, not a central point where you have to go looking for your name, right? If you're gonna spend a majority of your weekends at the soccer fields, you wanna see your name at the soccer fields. So that is why we are looking at a potential, you know, 4 donor walls throughout the park. When it's 57 acres, it's not gonna look tacky, you know, like one after the other, like you gotta go looking for them, right? But this does also provide us the opportunity for repeat donors, if, you know, specifically commercial or, you know, well-to-do citizens, but it does give us the opportunity to have same households do multiple donations for different facilities within the larger facility.
I'm all for what, like, you use the word tacky. I think tacky is so far out of the equation here. People expect there to be, I mean, put a Dvorak family urinal, like everything's for sale here. Whatever we can do.
I'll get you a number for the urinal sponsorship, Dave.
Yeah, please.
Both whatever we can do in terms of sponsorship opportunities and us from a leadership perspective, I think it pays dividends with the community, it averts costs. I'm all for.
Treat it like NASCAR, anywhere that you could put someone's name on it.
We can do the NASCAR model.
Yeah, and nobody will bat an eye, I don't think. I mean.
No, I don't think so. Jason, what about, say lights, somebody wanted to donate money to go to lighting, to things that we don't have currently,
Sure.
that they would pay to put in? I mean, that would just be a one-off discussion potentially?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
And I assume Musco, I mean, I'm sure you've been through that route. They're everywhere now, so it's not nearly as easy to get such a, you know, yeah. Everybody has
the same idea. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And one other thing to really think about too is, you know, something like this, who is seen as the pilot of that? You know, is it city staff? Is it a nonprofit? A little quick comparison, it's been done successfully in several different fashions, you know, just our neighbors to the east, Ankeny, with the Miracle League Field and the Ankeny Market Pavilion. Those were done through the Ankeny Community Foundation. Now the fundraising, the projects didn't happen without that fundraising. So it's a little bit different than ours, where we borrowed the money, you know, and now it's kind of an after-the-fact cherry on top of giving people an opportunity to support the project. So it's a little different in that, you know, we're not predicated on this monies for the project to start. So oftentimes when I saw that, even if it was a partial match of a town, Decorah is a good example recently with a sports complex up there. They did do their fundraising efforts from within. It was kind of a combination of their Parks and Rec staff and their elected officials, kind of reaching out and making those connections and having those meetings. It all did circle back around to one central person. I believe it was their Parks and Rec director for when it came time to actually talk about finer details of, you want this sponsorship, you want it to read as such. Then, you know, those details were conveyed to their director.
What did you guys do, James?
School. This model, really. The school took kind of a primary role in the superintendent, but the elected officials had to do a lot of communication as well. I will say that it did take a lot of staff members' time, maybe too much so. Some of the time, that's one of my concerns here, but partnership is definitely important. But I also don't want it to fall just on staff's shoulders to be expected to do this, because any time you spend trying to raise funds is time away from your regular job here. So I do think it's important that elected officials in this town have to get out there, and you're probably going to be the expert in answering all those questions, but we really need to make those contacts, have those conversations, see what people are willing to do, see what businesses could potentially be interested, and not put that primarily on valuable time that our staff would.
So what you're saying is agreeing to this means we need to agree as a body, as elected officials, to take on a lot of this because you would be expected to do way too much.
If we wanted to get going, yeah, we do.
Well, I think that's what we need to do then.
And your point on, yes, this has already started, but these phases really don't start moving and advancing forward unless we can be successful with this.
And I certainly see an opportunity with, the 5, 6 mayor included of, finding where do you have the connections, starting there first. And then, obviously we can tap into the park commission. I think they would have a different web of connections than this body would. Not everybody's comfortable with having the conversation, asking for money, but at least setting up and identifying those relationships, then we can act on those. Yeah, I think a collaborative effort, just given this project, is what staff would recommend on this.
The rest of the council on board for that?
Yeah, I mean, if we're not comfortable asking donors for money, we'll be asking taxpayers for money, and I would question that order of logic, so.
100%, thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
I think we also do have a pretty cool opportunity just coming up with, especially with phase 1 being soccer. North Polk United's spring season is about to start. Just making sure that all of those families that have a participant in North Polk United really see that this opportunity exists here. Even if, let's say there's 300 families, if all of them said, I'd love to be a winter sponsor, the lowest level, like 500 times 300 is more than 0. So be happy with what we would get. So, but yeah, no, I know that there's a lot of passionate families out here, passionate soccer families, passionate softball families. So I think we'll see definitely some household philanthropy as well on this.
That is absolutely what this money's going to. It's going to North Polk United, it's going to Polk City Little League, so.
Yep.
Have you had anyone inquire yet since those sponsorships were approved?
Mostly I know Mayor has been kind of leading the charge thus far. We have had some households and we have had some local commercial that have reached out about what opportunities exist. So yeah, word's already out there.
Start I go though.
Yeah, so it's already begun. I had the opportunity to share this forum or this series of forums with somebody that I was meeting with, and not hard sell or anything like that, just left it with them to say, let's talk more, because I fully agree that Jason should be in the room when we're having those conversations. Had somebody else reach out to me and we're having a meeting, same kind of thing. And then we have a couple of others that we've identified that we're in the process of setting up meetings on. So yeah, the ball is rolling. It's welcome all participation.
Yeah. And I'll send out to council, one of the big inspirations was the donor wall at the Miracle League field in Ankeny. I think it was just done very tastefully. It has, the name of that level of donation, the names are spelled out. Again, it's easy to find when you're at that facility. And that was really kind of the thought process behind this, just something that's tasteful, easy to find, easy to read. So unless it would be a fool's errand, but I'll send it out to you guys. I'm sure several of you have seen it, but I'll send it out.
Yeah. And lastly, if somebody says, yes, I'm interested in this, then we just send them to you. And is there any discussion topics that we should, that they're like, I want to learn more. And then I'm like, I don't have anything else. That's all I know. So what would they, literally the deliverables, what they can expect, that type of thing. Don't have to talk about it right now, but it would be for those people that I know well and I could sit across the table and not hard sell. It's just a conversation, right? And that's where I want to maybe dig a little deeper where you don't have to be part of it necessarily, but you'll be the closer.
Well, yeah, well, sure. No, I think we could definitely have and we could maybe do, one-on-one, so we don't have to rely on, any sort of work session, since that
Yeah,
schedule's
yeah.
filling up, but no, I'd be happy to, sit with each of you and kind of answer any questions you have about the project or where the proposed baseball donor wall might be, so if you get those questions, you'll be able to answer 90% of them. And if you can't, that's why I've got an email address. Please send them my way.
Right. Yeah, and having this form on hand will be really valuable. Email it off to anyone that asks, or even have a physical copy. It's got his contact information right at the bottom. And Mayor, I think you put it a good way. It's not necessarily a hard sell. It's an opportunity for different commercial businesses and residents that want to. After that, it is completely their choice, but it is also great advertising for some of those businesses as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds good.
Very good job.
And we can all agree, if anybody sells the park naming rights, steak dinner on me.
Okay.
How about that? Okay.
Got it.
There you go. Any other questions from you guys?
No other questions?
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
Item number 4 is adjournment. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. We're adjourned until 6 o'clock. Thank you, everybody.